Tennis players spend their careers on court trying to set records, but unfortunately some of them set some records that they probably wish they didn't have, like the biggest fines in tennis history. We have a new champion at the top. And we have Ben Rothenberg here saying utterly enormous fine for Hugo Gaston for his shithousery in Madrid. I mean, probably the best word to be used. Completely off the scale of normal ATP disciplinary measures. Let's find out why. It says Hugo Gaston guilty of an act of anti-game or anti-play and deemed a repeat offender, and he was fined $144,000, 133,000 euros at the Masters 1000 in Madrid, a severity linked to a new regulation of the code of conduct at the ATP. Wow, I mean, $144,000, that is a massive amount of money, has to be said. And I believe that this is because every time he reoffends, they double this fine. So he's obviously a repeat offender and the fine keeps on doubling for him. It said here, against Coric, Gaston had voluntarily dropped the ball from his pocket on an opponent's smash, no doubt in the hope of obtaining a let to replay the point, an act of anti-play. The Frenchman had been warned by the ATP at the end of last year for a similar gesture. And here it is. And this is on set point against Coric. And if you have a look at the bottom, he just throws the ball across, trying to obtain a let call there. Very, very sad to see players reducing themselves to these type of tactics to try and win matches or win points or get points replayed. And one massive statistic from this is actually a bigger fine than prize money that he has made so far this year. So he's made little more than 120,000 this year, and this fine of $144,000, well, it eclipses it. It sort of wipes out all of his earnings for the year. I mean, for me, very, very silly. And he's only 22. He's going to have time to earn more money, but you can't keep doing this. It's just going to get worse if he keeps on with these antics. A substantial fine, I'm sure you all agree. Let's have a look at the top 5 fines in tennis history. And we'll start from number 5, coming in with $56,000. That is Bernard Tomic, of course it is. After he was guilty, if you remember, in 2019 of not playing to the required standards in his first round match at Wimbledon against Jo-Wilfried Tsonga. They fined him the whole of the first round pot, which was £45,000, equivalent to $56,000 then. In at number 4, we have, well, on the grass courts again, $69,910, and David Nalbandian. Oh my word, we remember this one all too well. And that was when he ended up kicking in the Queen's Club final. He kicked a board but was right next to the linesman, and it went into his shin and it was bleeding, and they just had to default him. So that one, even though it was accidental, it didn't matter. It inflicted injury on an official, so he was defaulted. In at number 3, we're $82,500. It's Serena Williams. That's right, the US Open in 2009. The infamous foot fault heard around the world was not Serena's finest moment. That's right. This was from her US Open semi-final in 2009 against Kim Clijsters, where she lost her cool. And then she told the line judge, "I'll take this ball and shove it down your peep throat." And she was awarded a point penalty for the verbal abuse. And even though she was quick to apologize, she was still handed a then record fine of $82,500. In at number 2, with $113,000, that's that man. Of course, he had to be on there. It's Nick Kyrgios, the former number 1 of this ranking. And obviously this comes from Cincinnati in 2019. This was when he was playing Karen Khachanov, in addition to calling the umpire Fergus Murphy an effing tool. He left the court without permission, smashed up 2 rackets, and then came back out on the court again. It's one of those things that we sort of come to expect from Nick Kyrgios these days, but maybe he's crossed the line one too many times and now he's really focusing on the tennis itself, and we'll start to see less of that and more titles to his name. And last but not least, the number one. There he is at the top, Hugo Gaston. Who said you're not setting records in tennis? Well, you are now. Number one on the biggest tennis fine in history. I hope you enjoyed that little roundup. Let me know your thoughts on all of these fines. Who do you think was the worst offender here? And do you think Hugo Gaston is going to do it again? Is it going to be doubled once more? It's crazy. Anyway, if you haven't already, smash a like, subscribe if you're new, and join us for so much tennis action coming up all this week.